But he had to go to Lahore, so he asked me that, please, can you come with me? So I said, well, I've got no money, I can't afford it. He said, well, okay, I'll pay for you, but please, can you come with me? So this really played on me. I didn't want to take his money. He's a fellow student, he hasn't got money. And I wanted to be companion. He asked me to be his companion. I wanted to go with him. But I didn't want to take this money, and it really worried me a great deal. So for the first time ever, I actually prayed for $50 rupees, which is the bus fare to get to Lahore. So then we went to a mosque, and I was doing the Sunnah prayers afterwards, and there was a wedding going on. I'm not paying much attention to it because I was praying. But after I finished my prayers, then this person came up to me and said, well, I'm from England, you're from England, and please come to my house. So I wasn't really keen, but I had one student said, no, don't worry, I'll take you there, I know where it is. I said, okay, well then let's go. So we went to the person's house, and just had a cup of tea or whatever, and as we was leaving, we shook hands, and I felt they put something in my hand, so I just slipped it in my pocket and just moved on. And of course when I got home, then I remembered that something went in my pocket, so I got it out, and lo and behold, it was $50, so I was able to make that trip. So this is one way. I mean, many times you ask for things, but this was one thing which took out, because it was something which I didn't really want to ask God, but in the end I was forced that I had to pray for this particular thing, and how Allah arranges for such things.
After you completed Jamia, you had various posts, and you were sent to different places. What was the first post you were given, or first place you were sent to?
Of course, coming towards the end of Jamia, I thought about marriage, and I was thinking that it'd be nice to marry someone from the West because of my family, but I didn't think there would be anybody suitable, so I thought best that while I'm here in Pakistan, I'll marry a Pakistani or a Qadiani girl. So I sent out a few letters to different people, and one was to America, and one was to England, one was to Germany. So the letter to England was to Nasser Ward, but of course during the time I was in Pakistan, Nasser had moved away, he'd gone to Devon area, and so whilst he still had connections with the Jamaat, he wasn't as active as he was when I left. So he sent a letter to the General Secretary, Mrs. Hamza Faruqi, that can you help here? Now, my future wife, of course, she was under the wing of Mrs. Hamza Faruqi. So she wasn't not interested in marrying an English person. She wanted an Asian. So when Mrs. Faruqi told her about the letter, she just dismissed it. So Mrs. Faruqi said, no, it won't do any harm. So she was wanting to know more about me. So she approached Azur. She was very close to Azur, and asked Azur that there's this missionary and student missionary there, and I would like to correspond and find out whether we're suitable for marriage. So Azur was very happy. The first thing that happened, of course, was that we was arranging this marriage, and so when I got back, so we had the arranged marriage. Now, again, before moving on to your question, in '86 I did come back for Jalsa Salana. Hazur graciously sent for me because my mother was ill, and so I came back and attended the Jalsa Salana. So when I was there, I bought some audio tapes to play, question answer tapes of Hazur. So on one of these question answer tapes, it talked about a girl or lady who asked 6 questions to Hazur. And then of course later on in another tape, this girl does a bayat. And it was my habit that if there's a silent prayer, even if it was on tape or video, I would join in. So every time I played this tape, I would join in and pray for this girl who had just done the bayat. So of course that girl turned out to be my future wife in the end. So getting back to your question now after that, the first place was I was posted to Southall, and I was doing work experience with Imam Sahib. So I used to travel to London Mosque and work in Imam Sahib's office. My wife used to come with me, and she worked for the Private Secretary's office doing Azur's letters. And then we went to Scotland for a month to do field experience with Badr Sahib. So after that, when we came back to London, then it was March 2000. No, March. Where are we? March 1989, and so I was posted to Bradford. So that was the second place. Well, that was the first place officially. So there in Bradford, I was looking after the North East. Occasionally looked after the North West. Occasionally looked after South Yorkshire, but mainly I was posted in North East, and I was there for 10 years. And then we was posted to Scotland, and we spent 2 years in Scotland, and then of course we was posted to the Midlands, and we spent 8 years here.
Okay. So you came here in 2001?
Yeah.
Okay, right. Because this is a Majlis Khudam al-Ahmadiyya Midlands presentation, we wanted to know how you found living in the Midlands, your experiences with the Jamaat, any highlights you may have had in the last couple of years.
I mean, obviously, we don't have a choice where we're posted to, but where we're posted to, we try to serve as best as we can. So, alhamdulillah, I've enjoyed my time immensely with the Midland Jamaats. They've been very helpful, made my work very easily. And of course, for missionary, we look to see if there's been progress made, how we would term progress. So have we seen a change in the Jamaats? And I think, generally, in every Jamaat there's been a great progress. Highlights, I think, must be the mosque building. This beautiful mosque here, Birmingham Mosque. We've got, obviously, Birmingham West project there. There's Walsall project and Wolverhampton project. So mosques are very, very important. And, of course, the main thing is it's the desire of Hazur. And it's good to see the response of the members. And of course with Leamington Spa especially, because we're here in Leamington Spa, been very fortunate. I remember when I first came here, it was based behind the town hall. I remember the huts. And then of course you had that lantern centre, that shop, which I thought was very useful, having a shop there. And then of course it was blessed with this place. Another thing of course was the Wasiat campaign. I was very pleased that this was again the desire of Hazur to get 50%, and alhamdulillah we achieved that in this region as well. So it's always good to achieve targets, and of course there's the warmth of the members, and alhamdulillah I've enjoyed my time here, but I'm not going too far away, so I'm sure I'll be coming back often to see the people.
When you first came to Birmingham, the first project that was on its way was the inauguration of the Birmingham Mosque. Would you mind talking about the rebuilding and renovation works that took place?
I don't know if it's the first project. That was completed in 2004.
Okay, right, okay.
Came in 2001. But anyway, yeah, of course, when I came here, at that stage, the Dawah Barakat Mosque was, and the second phase had been completed. Sports hall and other rooms were there, and the final stage was still a mess. That area there. So to see the transformation is wonderful. What it's turned out to be, and I think no one really felt it was going to be like it ended up in doing. Of course, it was a big project, quite expensive project. But yeah, I mean, it was a joy to see, and there's many little things there which are very nice features as such. Now, of course, having that mosque is a great blessing, and of course, it's quite a large complex, so there is space there for other buildings that can be done in the future as well, inshallah. One of the blessings I think of the Al-Barak Mosque is the space. I mean, obviously, the room that I eventually moved into. It was a big classroom, and it's a very spacious room, and that enabled me to then have tabligh going on as well as the administration side. And there are so many different rooms there, which is everybody's benefiting from. So that's a great blessing from Allah. I remember when it used to be the house in Washwood Heath, and actually I remember one time before going to Jalsa, before going to Jamia, we did a tabligh tour, and we got there late in Birmingham, and I didn't want to disturb the missionary at the time, so I actually slept on the porch outside the door while two other people slept in my car. And I think a big surprise for the missionary when he came to get the milk and found me on the porch. Of course, he was annoyed with us, that's why we didn't wake him up, but well, we came late, so we didn't want to disturb him. So that was the early memory of Birmingham. But yeah, alhamdulillah, it's been a very pleasure.